condemn Hamas. Say I'm Israel. Hi. Say you condemn October 7th. You are Hamas. What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hassan Piker, and this is the HasanDaily broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles, folks. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is Monday. That's right. It's Monday News Day, folks. It's Monday News Day. You already know what it is. You already know what's going on. I think if you want to blame someone, blame fucking the event organizers who just straight up kept it in, because stuff like that is on a delay, and they could have just as easily edited that out, you know, and they didn't. And it's fucking insane that they didn't edit that out. I don't understand why they chose not to edit it out. BAFTA Film Awards host Alan Cumming thanked the audience for the understanding after a series of audible outbursts from Tourette's campaigner John Davidson interrupted the ceremony. John Davidson himself was being recognized as someone who has crippling Tourette's, and as a part of Tourette's, there is aspect of Tourette's where you like say something that is incredibly inappropriate. And the things that he was saying, he said a bunch of things that were inappropriate, but the most inappropriate thing he did was basically when Michael B. Jordan was on stage, he said the N-word with a hard R. And what's crazier about the story, of course, is that they literally fucking apparently edited literally the Free Palestine segment, but they didn't edit this. It blows my freaking mind, dude. How is that possible that you are capable of editing out a speech where someone says Free Palestine, but you can't edit out the N-word? You are out of your dang mind. There are a lot of people who are like, oh no, he was doing it on purpose. Like, he was doing it on purpose. No, I don't think he was doing it on purpose, but it doesn't matter. It's still horrifying to hear that if it's horrifying to hear that when you're a black person in general, but you're also like a professional actor. This is your moment of glory. You're on stage and you just get slung with the fucking dehumanizing slur. Of course, that's like impactful regardless. Like, I don't know why it's like such a difficult thing to comprehend. Yeah, corporalia is the specific type of Tourette's where you like say something that is incredibly inappropriate and you have no control over it. And I don't understand like why people think like, no, it's fake. Like, it's not. Like, it's not fake, man. What the fuck? That's kind of the whole thing. Not to get into the woke Olympic side of this at all, but I do think there are certain types of slurs that if he were to say, they would have cut it out. If he said something like anti-Jewish, they would have cut that shit out. They cut out Free Palestine. Of course they would have cut out an anti-Jewish slur as well. Like, the fact that black people are just treated like shit in general by even polite society in a moment where they're supposed to be honored is fucking insane. Like, really? You're not going to clean that up? Really? That's crazy. That is actually fucking crazy. There is no world where if he had dropped something different that they wouldn't have actually cleaned that shit up. They would have. The vocab is in his lingo? No, dude. What, you think someone that is at his age has never heard the N-word? Like, what are you talking about? No, this is all made up shit. You're all wrong. That's not how it works. Also, it's funny because there are black people with Tourette's and they have already spoken about this. I don't understand why you guys are making it seem like this is a white only issue. Like, go listen to a black person with Tourette's. They will tell you the way Tourette's works is exactly like that. The real racism, I think, is coming from the expectations for black actors and black people in general to just like eat it. The real racism is coming from the systemic racism that BBC didn't choose to fucking take that out of the final editing process. The racism isn't like in the individual there, where it's like a dude with an individual with a pretty significant disability is just out there saying the N-word and he like did it specifically to like hurt a black person's feelings and they're doing it for attention, or there's like some other sinister purpose for it. No, the actual racism is the racism at the systemic front, where people just think like, black actors are supposed to eat that shit and they're supposed to be accommodating to a moment of dehumanization, even if this is a moment of dehumanization that comes at the tail end of like a real disability. That's what the problem is. And for the record, I don't think it's ableist for people to be like, well, why didn't he apologize? Just because it's involuntary doesn't mean you can't still be, it still can't lead to harm. Like what? Tourette's activist John Davison says he's deeply mortified if anyone considers my involuntary tics to be intentional or to carry any meaning, and he chose to leave the ceremony early. Apologize for your disability, please. No, I think it's no. That's unacceptable. Listen. We live in a society, and I think it's important for someone to be like, this is my disability. It's real. It's not, you know, I didn't seek to offend you, but it's also good to communicate that. What are you talking about? That's a part of like, you know, being a social animal. There's a part of like having a normal social experience. Yeah, if you have IBS, you can fart and you can apologize for farting. You don't go, I have IBS, fuck you. like, what do you mean? It's not ableist to be like, I didn't know what was going on, but it still made me feel some type of fucking way. You know, does that chatter think Kanye shouldn't apologize because he's bipolar? Yeah, that's the other side of the story as well, which is like, and with Kanye, there's also other components involved in it. It's like the frequency of what he did. It wasn't like a one-off, right? So even then, it's not like a full-blown 100% one-to-one comparison. Tourette's activist John Davison, who inadvertently shouted the N-word during the BAFTA Film Awards on Sunday night, has released a statement after widespread backlash. Davison, who first began experiencing tics at the age of 12, made a number of outbursts during the first half of the ceremony, including shouting "shut the fuck up" during BAFTA chair Sarah Putt's opening remarks. When Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo took to the stage to present the Best Visual Effects Award to Avatar: Fire and Ash, he was heard shouting the N-word. I want to thank BAFTA and everyone involved in the awards last night for their support and understanding and inviting me to attend the broadcast, Davidson said in a statement.
Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
We're here to celebrate.
And yeah, the Delroy Lindo is like, I mean, he was like, what the fuck, right? And they just kept it pushing, right? They just kept it pushing. They're professionals, they're pros. So he said, I wanted to thank BAFTA and everyone involved in the awards last night for their support and understanding and inviting me to attend the broadcast. Davison said in a statement, I appreciate the announcement to the auditorium in advance of the recording, warning everyone that my tics are involuntary and are not a reflection of my personal beliefs. I was heartened by the round of applause that followed this announcement and felt welcomed and understood in an environment that would normally be impossible for me. Host Alan Cumming twice interrupted the BAFTA Film Awards proceedings to address Davidson's outburst and wants to thank the audience, which include William and Kate and the Prince and the Princess of Wales, for their understanding, and the second time apologize if you are offended tonight. Davison added, in addition to the announcement by Alan Cumming, the BBC and BAFTA, I can only add that I am and always have been deeply mortified if anyone considers my involuntary tics to be intentional or to carry any meaning. He concluded the statement by saying, I swear, more than any film or TV documentary explains the origins, conditions, traits, and manifestations of Tourette's syndrome. I've spent my life trying to support and empower the Tourette's community and to teach empathy, kindness, and understanding from others, and I will continue to do so, Davidson said. I chose to leave the auditorium early into the ceremony as I was aware of the distress my tics were causing. In I Swear, Lord of the Rings of Power star Robert Aramayo plays Davidson as he's diagnosed with the syndrome. Aramayo beat out Hollywood stars including Leo DiCaprio and Ethan Hawke to take home the leading man statue for his performance. The film, which was nominated in 5 categories, also won an award for casting. Did bro plug his project? Dog, the reason why he's there is because of the movie. What is wrong with you? Calm down. You have... In your mind, you think like, oh, he has a sinister purpose. Yeah, the sinister purpose is what? Broad awareness for his fucking disability. Hello? What the fuck? The person who called Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo the N-word had no control over their actions, but neither did either of them in having to endure being called it publicly amongst their peers. What about a moment of understanding for them as well? Yeah, this is the other side of this, obviously. Like, I'm not even saying, like, Michael B. Jordan needs to fucking suck it up or something. And I think some people are saying that. That's a little crazy. That's insane. Like, of course he's not supposed to just suck it up, all right? And it's not ableist to be understanding of 2 black men who are on stage in front of their peers getting fucking humiliated and dehumanized in real time. That's crazy. You're being crazy. You're out of your fucking mind if you think that that is like a normal situation at all. Of course it's not a normal situation. DELROY Lindo wishes someone from BAFTA spoke to us after the N-word was shouted at he and Michael B. Jordan were presenting. Lindo told Vanity Fair that we did what we had to do in that moment when the racial slur was said by John Davison, who is diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome and attended the BAFTA Film Awards as a subject of the nominated biopic, I Swear. Sources told Variety after the ceremony, the floor managers informed guests and attendees sitting around Davison of his condition. According to multiple sources, none of the nominees or attendees were contacted by BAFTA or BBC ahead of the show to notify them. Like, I don't understand why the same sympathies aren't being given to Michael and DELROY. What do you mean you don't understand? It's because they're black, okay? We live in a white supremacist society. Of course people are, literally looking at that and going, oh, it's just some bad words. Why don't you just take it on the chin? It's just some bad words. It is a manifestation of white supremacist attitude where a lot of people who are blind to the impact of anti-black racism are basically expressing that same anti-blackness in the discourse by leaning into a situation where they feel like this is a totally appropriate moment to say, shut the fuck up. You can't feel some type of way about this as a black person. That's what it is. And some people are just unaware of their blind spot here. They don't even realize. They think that they're being accommodating. They think that they're being nice. They think that they're being positive about it without recognizing that this is also reinforcing the same anger and resentment that black people feel because this is an experience that even born out of a disability, even when it's inadvertent, is still going to be traumatic. And you can't comprehend that if you don't understand the impact of white supremacy. If you can't even empathize with, growing up as a black person in a white society, in a majority white society, you're just never going to be able to understand it. You're only going to think, oh, it's just a mean word. It's just a silly word. Why do you care so much? Oh, black people use it too. Like, this is reinforced in every aspect of our existence. Okay. So I am, so fucking woke that I also am understanding of the role that social conditioning plays in teaching a lot of non-black people and even some black people, as a matter of fact, that like you're just supposed to take it on the fucking chin. And you can't say anything about it. An issue I have is the centering of John and the removal of the harm MBJ and DELROY in the situation when they're fully victims here too. There's a lot of oh, poor baby going on, and I think John's getting a lot of undue hate. But this mirrors a lot of what we see in society about how black people are expected to suck up slur usage in all different regards. Exactly. Like, both parties could have been wronged in this situation. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. This is the perfectly crafted woke trolley problem, pitting the social model of disability against centering BIPOC voices and concerns. This is something the FBI would concoct in a Quantico laboratory. Oh, for sure. 100%. It is a perfect woke trolley problem. Straight up. It's designed like an LSAT question, but for woke. John Davison did an interview with Big John about his take throwing out the N-word and how people interpret him as being racist.
Sometimes my texts will shout the N-word.
Yeah. That can get you in trouble.
People misunderstand that and they see it as being racist.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I ain't racist.
You just can't control what's coming out of your...
Can't control.
It also doesn't help that like they kind of look this way. You know what I mean? I mean, they Big John Bosch, he's tough. He's woke. He's my woke king. I believe this man. But it's hard to not. It's hard to assume that a man that looks like this is just dropping the N-word with a hard R, and then, people are like, you know what I mean? It's not his fault that he looks like a thumb. I don't know. I'm not down with lock them away discourse. Lock them away? What the fuck are you talking about? What are people just being like cordon them off? That's crazy. What the fuck? They were like, oh, if you have Tourette's, you should go to a camp where you are concentrated. This is like the Hitlerian horseshoe, where on the one hand, people are like, well, black people, they should be in a concentration camp. And then on the other hand, people are like, disabled people, they should be in a concentration camp. And the synthesis of that is Adolf Hitler, who thought the same about both of these groups. I like that. I like that that's like the current discourse. When it reaches its like maximum, its maximalist conclusion is just like, well, someone's got to go to a concentration camp. You know what I mean? What are we doing? Are we not putting anybody in the camps? Like, what's happening here? Inventing segregation out of first principles. Calling black men the N-word is racism. If John was has corporalia and can't control the slurs, he says he should watch from a separate area. That's crazy. Yeah, you know, separate but equal. That's wild. Not to use a trot sentiment here, but this was probably one of his best inventions. Everyone has a little bit of Hitler particles. Like that's just how it is. Everyone's got a little bit of that in them, and it just like kind of comes out when you can't comprehend like things like this are happening inadvertently. And you know, when we get to that point and we decide like, yeah, we should cordon off certain segments of society, all of a sudden you're kind of broaching that territory, which is crazy. Why do you hate on this poor dude with Tourette's saying something racist? Okay, calm down, dude. Come on. I'm over here talking about like disability advocacy, and you just did the absolute worst thing. Are you my op? Like, really? You want Ethan to farm this shit? Come on now. I'm trying to have a productive conversation that basically focuses on all of the communities that are impacted here, and you just, you know, you want to farm a fucking quick, funny moment. It's craziness. Don't be a drama pervert.